Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about critical thinking. We'll discuss what critical thinking is, why it is important, and how to engage in critical thinking. So let's take a minute now to think about the following questions. What do you know about critical thinking? Have you heard of it before? If yes, why do you think it is important? And what is the process of engaging in critical thinking? Before laying out the formal definition, let us first look at a particular scenario. Suppose you got trapped in a creepy old building. There seems to be no easy way out. You only have a few sandwiches with you and a bucket. The only probable way out of the building are three closed doors. And each of these doors has a weird and scary warning sign hanging on it. The first door has a fire warning sign, which indicates that there is a destructive fire burning behind it. The second door has a wild zone warning sign, which indicates that there are hungry lions lurking behind that door. And the third door has an alligator warning sign, which indicates that there is an alligator infested river behind that door. Now you have to make the tough decision of choosing one of these doors to safely get out of the building without posing a risk to your life by facing the imminent dangers behind each of these doors. Which door would you choose and why? Since it's a difficult problem that you need to solve, you'll have to think deeply and consider a few aspects carefully. Firstly, you need to remember the details, including what resources you have, what danger lies behind each door, recall any similar situation you have heard of or experienced before, and the strategies you use to get out of the danger. Secondly, you'll have to understand the situation well. You have to understand what danger lies behind each door and how you can solve it. Can you fight the lions? Can you walk through fire? Can you drive away the alligators? Can you try to extinguish the fire? Thirdly, you'll have to apply your understanding to the context. How can you extinguish the fire? Do you have a water pump? No. Do you have anything similar? Yes, you have a bucket, but there is no water in it. Is there water anywhere? Yes, there is this alligator infested river behind the third door. Next, you have to analyze the situation based on the solution you have found out. How can you collect water from an alligator infested river? How do you avoid getting attacked by the alligators? Do you have any way to distract the alligators or to drive them away? What resources do you have to do that? You have sandwiches. Will you be able to distract the alligators for some time by throwing the sandwiches at them? Maybe yes. After that, you'll have to evaluate the pros and cons of your solution. Is this solution worth carrying out? Which situation is more dangerous? Staying trapped inside a building and starving to death, or taking the risk of distracting the alligators to extinguish the fire? Finally, when you are done with evaluating the situation properly and find out that the plus points of your solution outweigh the minus points, you'll carry out your plan, or in other words, create a way for yourself to get out of the creepy old building. In short, to get out of the building you're trapped in, you'll need to open the third door. Then you'll have to throw sandwiches at the alligators to distract them with food. After that, you'll have to collect water in the bucket from the river. Next, you'll open the first door. After that, you'll extinguish the fire by splashing water from the bucket. And you'll use the same door to exit the building. Congratulations, you have successfully solved the problem using your higher order thinking skills, which is known as critical thinking skills. So, what is critical thinking? According to formal definitions, critical thinking refers to the ability to analyze information objectively and make a reasoned judgment. It involves the evaluation of sources such as data, facts, observable phenomena, and research findings. That is to say, critical thinking helps us to rationalize and reach a conclusion by analyzing the information at hand critically. Now, the question is, why do we need to engage in critical thinking? Firstly, for solving problems in real life or for a university assignment or for any professional task, we need to engage in critical thinking. Also, to reach logical conclusions regarding any issue in academic, professional, or personal life, critical thinking is absolutely necessary. By engaging in critical thinking, we can find alternative solutions for social issues as well as construct strong arguments by considering different perspectives. As discussed at the beginning, critical thinking involves 6 stages of thinking. It starts with remembering previously learned ideas and past experiences. From remembering, the thinking process moves to understanding the problem and comprehending the utilization of available resources. The next stage is application, which refers to the ability of applying the newly learned methods, rules, techniques, etc. After that, the next step is analyzing, which requires a thinker to deconstruct the components of the newly learned knowledge to understand the content and the structure separately, as well as to understand each part individually. The following stage involves evaluating the newly learned knowledge or retrieved resources or content to understand their values and reflect upon the pros and cons. The last stage is creating, which refers to the ability to put different pieces of the newly acquired knowledge or information or content together in order to form a new whole. So that's all about critical thinking. In case you have any confusion, please read the chapter on critical thinking in your booklet. If you have further queries, do not forget to write an email to your teacher. Thank you so much for listening.